Emmy Rhymes is that young, humble guy, that has a very humble beginning from Kogi State. A lot of persons mistake me from people that come from the East. But at the end of the day, I came from the place where the two rivers met, which is Kogi State. I'm a Nigala boy by tribe, but born and brought up in Benue State, Boko to be precise. So I speak a little Tiv. I speak a little Tiv, but not much. My name is Sani Emmanuel Ikojo. I don't really know, I can't tell you much about the Sani because I don't know anything about Sani, but Emmanuel, God is with us, and Ikojo, that means God's time in the Igala dialect. God's time, because I didn't come in time. They were expecting a child for like 4 years, before I eventually came, and they decided to give me that name, Ikojo, which means God's time is the best. I'm the first of 3. I lost my dad, may his soul rest in peace. And I came up with my mom brought me up. I didn't really spend most of my time at home with my parents. I was this young guy that was going around, spending a lot of time with a lot of people. I stayed with some persons to finish my primary school, stayed with my grandmom to finish my secondary school. From there, stayed with an uncle. It was only when I went to the university that I started having life of my own. So my family was no longer together. Immediately, my dad left in 2001. So that's really been the kind of life I was living, throughout then. How it actually started from me, for me, back then in school, I never dreamt of, becoming a musical artist at all. It was I was this kind of, I grew up, being a very outgoing person. I'm always very restless, and there is really something about me that I never really get to know. It was after when I lost my dad, I had no option but to, stick to what works for me. At first, the plan I had with my dad was to become a Catholic priest, because I joined the mass server in the Catholic faith, and I was serving mass for a very long time. I envied the priests we have around, and I had a decision with my dad that I was going to become a priest, back then. But when immediately he died, those dreams of mine becoming a priest, started fading. I don't really know what actually caused it, but maybe you try and figure out that yourself. So ever since then, I never even dreamt of, getting into music. The only thing I knew was, I love listening to music, and, I love acting. In school, I was acting, going out for competitions, and stuff like that. So music just started for me as something that just came over me eventually in my high school, in my university days, And it started in my university days actually, because in my secondary school, what I was just doing was just writing, because I can write, I write and write and write and write and write. So I have a lot of writings I do, and what I do is I like rhymes. I put many rhymical words together to make sentences. We use it to abuse ourselves. We use it to crack jokes and stuff like that. I was just doing something like, me and my guys where they available, with the one that they call honorable. We come out, go bubble, go quick to stay out of trouble, sit down round table, order for bottle. Some couple, they take double, others as many as possible. Like that. So I just fell in love. I was just composing rhymes, using them to tell stories.
I need desperate, and it will be accurate and appropriate if you cooperate, so that everything will be portrait.
I remember I started this run from September. Now we did December. She just take me the summer. They run around like armed robber.
And there's a particular friend of mine, his name is Tikoku. And he just came to me one day, because I was just using it to preach. I was in church using it to preach. I was using it to minister, discuss inspirational words. We go to groups, we're just preaching, and it was just something that had a lot of ovation from people. And the response was just so high for me, and I was just becoming famous all of a sudden. People were just inviting me up to just come and do rhymes, and I was like, wow. From there, I was getting, little stipend like that, and I was like, so I can really make a living out of this. It was a friend of mine that just called me up and said, his name is Tikoko, and he was saying that, guy, don't you think you can really use it in music the way Busta Rhymes, the way Emma and the rest they do, you know, because it's really a sign that, because if you just leave it like this, it might just get to die. You just have to, you know, fuse it into music. I wasn't really comfortable with the idea, but later, you know, I grew into it and I started seeing reasons. You know, I did my first job. I was just writing songs for people in school. I was just writing rhymes. People would just come to me. I would just write and compose and give them. You know, they used to record what they wanted to do, and you know, from there, with the clique of people I had there, you know, I started getting gradually into the music industry, and I found myself, you know, writing music, writing songs, you know, voicing, developing my voice, you know, with time. So I started singing. So that was how it worked for me.
I say it's against me in the court of the law. Hey. Me and my guys, where they are valuable, we don't know what they call honorable. We come and go bob.
Genesis album was actually came about because for me it was just the beginning of, you know, of the journey. That was how I figured out Genesis. It was the beginning of the journey for me, because the album was a collection of rhymes. I just did the rhymes, and then I had a chorus in the middle, you know, and stuff like that, which is something that a lot of persons don't really know how it works. But at the end of the day, it's going to really come out, you know, in one of the songs I'm going to do, for people to get to have a feel of the kind of rhymes I was doing then. So I just used them I was just composing songs with them. Then I became so famous that I had no option but to drop an album before leaving the school there. And that album was a huge success, and I named it Genesis because that was the beginning of good things to come for me in my life. I was well celebrated in school. I was going for shows. I was just like an event guy, you know, from one show, from there, you know, going to states, reaching out to Port Harcourt, Abuja, to Lokoja. I was just performing, and I just saw myself, you know, doing music, and you know, it was just a whole very big fun for me. And that was how the journey just started for me, and I fell in love with music. You know, I was just doing my thing. Some persons knew me as a comedian first. You know, some persons knew me as a poet. Other persons knew me as an MC. You know, I just have different faces, and it depends on the face that people met me first. You know, when I even came to Lagos, you know, it was very difficult for me to penetrate the music industry, and I needed finances to, you know, kick up what I was doing. There was really no enough cash for me to continue music. You know, so because I have talent in, you know, in making people laugh, and, you know, coordinating events and stuff like that. I was just doing that, you know, to get little stipend to, you know, finance the music I was really doing. And if you ask me why music, you know, music is something I fell in love with. It was not like it was something that some people would say they were born with music. It wasn't like that for me. It was something along the line I fell in love with. And with the little I've done in music, and I had so much appreciation. I had people, the ovation is just so high. People are appreciating the kind of music I do. I'm developing myself. I'm growing day by day. I'm discovering a lot of things I can do with music day by day. And you know, I just feel like, man, that means this is where I belong. I'm supposed to be an entertainer. This is what I'm supposed to do. Right from when I was in school, I've been winning a lot of awards, you know, and those awards, you know, made me realize that this is where I belong. You know, after the success of my first musical album, collection album, the Genesis album, I won awards with XUG, Artist of the Year, Album of the Year. I was just winning a whole lot of awards in school back then. And even when I came for my NYC, I served here in Lagos. Even when I came for NYC, there was a talent hunt program that was powered by MTN, which I participated. Out of 33 persons who contested, I came second. You know, and I won a very big home theater, which I took home that day. And with that, I just felt like, man, it's not like I know it all, but I think this is where I belong. You know, this is what I'm supposed to do. That if I keep practicing, you know, I keep teaching myself what to do, at the end of the day, I'm going to really hit it big.
I hope this song will make the beef. Can't wait to hear my song on the city way. Down to the street that gave.
Angels in My Head was just a song that even it's a spiritual thing for me. You know, it just hit me like it was not a song I wanted to do at first. Angels in My Head, the lyrics are just so deep. You know, I even right now, if you ask me, a lot of people have different stories and different meanings to that song. But for me, the song is just so deep that I find it very difficult to explain to people at the end of the day.
So I will let them sing for you. Tell me what you wanna hear. I will let them sing for you. I got angels in my head, so I will let them sing for you. Tell me what you wanna hear. I will let them sing for you.
But it's just a song that, you know, pours myself out to people and, you know, trying to let people know that, man, I just have a lot of things going on for me and you just need to hear me out.
On my hustle because I don't take for streets. The street full of this shit, so I gave it to defeat. Cheat no be meat, I swear you know the sweet. Now I know my fuck up, I dey try make I treat. I've taught myself to write again, to sing and to compete. I'm tired of this shit that is smelling from the street. You can feel it from the way I spit. So hold me, touch me, feel me, and love me. Now as I dey feel you, make you feel me, make we show them how we dey go. I got angels in my head, so I will let them sing for you. Tell me what you wanna hear. I will let them sing for you. I got angels in my head, so I will let them sing for you. Tell me what you wanna hear. I will let them sing for you.
And those, you know, angels are angelic. They are spirits, you know, that are heavenly. They are spirits that, you know, good tidings. You know, they are glorious. So when I have all those things in my head, that means you really need to listen to what I have to say. And that song has really been the song that's given me the breakthrough I've always been waiting for. You know, when the song just came, people start falling in love with the song. At the first time they get to hear the song, people are already falling in love. You know, I'm receiving calls. My shows increased. You know, I was going on tour. My songs were just played on radio stations. So it was just so crazy for me, man. It was something that it just came spiritually, and I never really expected that it was really going that length because of the platforms the song has really given me. And you know, I just thank God for the gift of that song, Angels in My Head, because that song, you know, really brought me to why I'm here, to this level that I am, you know. And I really appreciate God for the fact that I had that inspiration in the first place to write that song, and people are really loving it, you know.
Yeah. So dance to that. What is it called again? Thank you.
This one a popular demand. I don't make me blow. You know when I do this thing, man. I don't blow with that too. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's take this song one more time.
So I will let them sing for you. Tell me what you wanna hear. I will let them sing for you.
Now I have fans down to UK. I have fans in the US. I have fans across Africa as well. So it's just a wonderful thing to happen to me, you know. And I've been working very hard. I have a lot of materials unproduced. I have those that are produced but are not out yet, you know. But hopefully I just have a whole lot of things that my fans are going to be expecting from me this year.